Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Savannah Chrisley slams vile messages she's received since Trump pardoned her parents. Savannah Chrisley isn't staying quiet about the hate she's received online. The reality TV star took to Instagram to share messages she's been sent on social media after President Donald Trump pardoned her parents, Todd and Julie Chrisley. Imagine saying such vile things to someone. She wrote on Instagram stories while showing a screenshot of the messages. Disgusting MAGA pig, a user wrote to Savannah. Not having to work for anything in your life is crazy. Although Savannah has never mentioned anything about a pregnancy, the user also wrote, "Hopefully you miscarry." Todd and Julie were both pardoned by President Donald Trump in May after being convicted on federal charges of bank fraud and tax evasion. They were sentenced to a combined 19 years behind bars. The Chrisley Knows Best stars walked out of prison after serving 2.5 years. Savannah claimed Trump's pardon literally came out of nowhere while speaking to reporters on May 28. "I was in such shock and awe that the president himself took the time to tell me my family is coming back together," she said. In the first trailer for the Chrisleys, back to reality, Todd and Julie's children were seen accusing their own family members of betrayal related to the 2022 conviction of the couple on bank fraud and tax evasion charges. The prosecutor read the letter Lindsay wrote to the FBI. "We're no longer family. Lose our last name," Savannah said to the camera. "I mean, your blood will screw you over. Then a stranger definitely will," Grayson Chrisley added. Cameras have been filming the Chrisley family for the past 3 years as the story of their time behind bars unfolded. "Our household is completely divided. I told my parents I don't know if it can ever be repaired," Savannah said in the trailer. "Honestly, I want people to know what actually went down with my family," Chase Chrisley said. "There's a score to be settled." The family's feud involving Lindsay first began in 2012. With Todd and Julie's daughter completely leaving Chrisley Knows Best in 2017. Lindsay has been outspoken about the damage the Chrisley name has brought to her over the years. According to People magazine, Lindsay touched on her ongoing estrangement with the couple on an episode of Savannah back in March. "The last time I visited my dad probably was at the beginning of last year. I can't even honestly remember," Lindsay admitted. "Nanny Faye and I used to go together when they first went to prison," she said. "I have never been to Lexington to visit Julie. I have not seen my dad in quite some time, and I have had no contact," said Lindsay. "And that's all I'm going to say for that." Savannah Chrisley has never been one to stay quiet when the world comes at her family, but this week her voice carried more fire than ever. In the days since former President Donald Trump granted a highly publicized pardon to Todd and Julie Chrisley, the Chrisley Knows Best star has been flooded with messages. Some were congratulatory, celebrating the reunion of a family that had weathered prison bars, court battles, and relentless speculation. But others, ugly, vicious, and cruel, landed in her inbox like daggers. And Savannah isn't having it. A family torn apart, now reunited. When Todd and Julie walked out of federal custody earlier this month, tears flowed and cameras clicked. For Savannah, who had taken on guardianship of her younger brother Grayson and niece Chloe during her parents' incarceration, the moment was bittersweet. It was the end of one chapter of pain, but the beginning of another, one that involved reuniting a family fractured by distance and enduring the echo of public judgment. For years, Savannah stood on the front lines, insisting her parents' trial had been marred by corruption and prosecutorial misconduct. Now, with Trump's pardon, her words gained validation in the eyes of supporters. Yet not everyone saw it that way. "I knew people would have opinions," Savannah admitted during an Instagram Live she hosted from her Nashville home. "But I didn't expect the kind of evil I've seen. It's not disagreement. It's vile." Messages that crossed the line. The blonde reality star read excerpts of some of the worst messages, her voice trembling with a mixture of anger and exhaustion. One anonymous user told her that her parents should have rotted in their cells and accused the Chrisleys of buying their way to freedom. Another wrote that Chloe would grow up learning crime pays. A comment Savannah said left strangers feel the need to drag an innocent little girl's name into this tells me everything about their character. Savannah said, her southern drawl sharpening with every syllable. Y'all can come after me, but don't you dare come after Chloe. Other messages were even darker, veering into threats. Some mocked Todd's appearance after prison, while others suggested the family's reality show should be canceled permanently. One particularly chilling message claimed, one day, the truth about y'all will come out, and it won't be pretty. Savannah slammed her laptop shut after reading that one, later confessing, it's hard to sleep at night when you realize how much hate lives out there. Fighting back with fire. Instead of retreating, Savannah has chosen to fight back. I've never pretended my family is perfect, she said, pacing her kitchen during the live stream. We've made mistakes. We've had our messes out there for the world to see. But my parents served almost 2 years behind bars. They were torn away from their kids and grandkids. They paid a price, and now they've been given grace. If that offends you, maybe you should take a hard look at your own life. Her words carried the mix of grit and polish that has always made her compelling on camera. For Savannah, this wasn't about politics, nor was it about pleasing the critics. It was about defending the family she spent her adulthood protecting. Y'all don't know the nights I cried myself to sleep worrying about Grayson's grades or Chloe's nightmares, she continued. Y'all don't know the visits where I had to hold my mama's hands through glass, or when I watched my daddy struggle to breathe in those conditions. You weren't there. So don't you dare sit behind a keyboard and tell me my family doesn't deserve this second chance. A renewed spotlight. The pardon has thrust the Chrisleys back into the national spotlight in a way that feels eerily familiar. Media outlets, talk shows, and political commentators have all latched onto the story. Some heralded it as a redemption arc, while others decried it as celebrity privilege. Through it all, Savannah has been the lightning rod. Savannah's the one people go after because she's the loudest, a family insider revealed. She's young, outspoken, and not afraid to clap back, but she's also carrying the weight of her parents' legacy on her shoulders. People don't understand how hard that is. Indeed, her recent comments made it clear that while the Chrisleys may be free, they're not free from judgment. Faith over fury. Even in her rage, Savannah hasn't lost sight of her faith, a cornerstone of the Chrisley brand since the beginning. She quoted scripture during her livestream, reminding viewers that forgiveness was a divine act, not a political one. We're not here because of man's approval, she said firmly. We're here because God opened a door. My parents walked through it, and we're going to honor that with the way we live. Still, the stain of the messages lingers. Savannah admitted that she's had to set stricter boundaries on her social media, blocking accounts and limiting comments. It's not about silencing people, it's about protecting my peace, she explained. Looking ahead. Despite the wave of negativity, Savannah said she is determined to move forward. Plans are reportedly underway for the Chrisleys to relaunch their reality presence, though the format remains under wraps. Savannah herself is exploring podcast opportunities to give fans a rawer, unfiltered glimpse into life after prison. And when it comes to the trolls, she's made one thing clear: she won't be silenced. Call me spoiled, call me delusional, call me whatever you want, she said in closing. But don't ever think your words are going to break me. I've been through hell these last 2 years, and if I can survive that, I can survive you. With that, Savannah flashed the same confident smile that made her a fan favorite years ago, her eyes daring the critics to keep coming. If the torrent of vile messages was meant to shatter her, it's done the opposite. It's forged her into a woman who refuses to apologize for her love, her loyalty, or her voice.